Hello, welcome to this week's video, and you can probably tell I'm in a bit more of a urban setting, which is the theme of this video. I thought it'd be quite nice actually, just as a bit of a change up really, just to test some other kind of photography out as well. I'm on the hunt for some kind of more urban type shots today. Yeah, beautiful day, beautiful conditions, so I often like to be out on days like these. So let's see what we can do with this. Yeah, it's the first time I've really kind of paid much attention really to the more urban areas, so I just thought I'd take it that notch further and just try and find some kind of really trashy kind of like urban areas that are a bit distressed. And I'm going to start here because the light is superb, so see how it turned out. This angle here is pretty cool, I've got to say. Yeah, there's definitely a good angle, some really good graphic lines kind of coming through as well, so yeah, this one's probably a good one so far, but we'll have a little wander around, see what else we can find. Yeah, again, the light is a really good advantage today. Just means you can kind of shoot everything kind of underexposed really. I'm shooting at a 40th of a second f10 at the minute, mainly because it's very light. I'm just trying to kind of underexpose. I want it to get the details and the highlights, and obviously the shadows, I want them to be quite dark, so I'm yeah, purposely kind of shooting a lot darker really. Just going to go a bit closer to this and get a nice light there. Yeah, it's quite cool. Oh, we've got a little doggy. Hello doggy. Yeah, and again I can get a bit more of the depth of this in a little bit further. The problem is my shadow that stands there, but that might actually look quite cool. Actually, that is quite cool. That works surprisingly quite well. Probably quite a good spot actually, in the sense of positioning. Right, we'll keep on moving. Yeah, so I think that's probably my first location as we travel around trying to find some urban photography. So I don't normally typically shoot these kind of locations, but the day was just really nice in terms of high contrast, and I thought that was going to be a really good place to go and start this kind of urban style photography that I was trying to capture for this particular video. And I'm going to take you through some of the settings that I use, just so you can kind of have a bit of a guide really if you're one of those photographers who generally gets out and doesn't like to shoot in kind of high contrast days, which I know a lot of you don't like to shoot in these conditions because it's really hard to kind of control the light, and everything is generally overexposed. But for me, that's what I actually really enjoy about this kind of photography, is just bringing everything down and using the kind of the shadows and the harsh contrast to your advantage really, to try and shoot some different style images, which I think I've actually managed to capture quite a number of them with the way that the kind of shadows fall, and you can use those kind of lines to create some nice kind of photography as well. So I'm just going to take you through some of the kind of settings that I've got with my images here. So most of the time I was kind of shooting around a 40th of a second, so really fast kind of shutter speeds, mainly because I was shooting freehand as well. Obviously you don't want out of focus images, but generally when you've got a really kind of bright day, you don't have to worry so much about your kind of shutter speed, because you'll always have enough light in the camera to get that anyway. So the ISO was on 100 the entire time. Didn't need to obviously go any higher with that, which is obviously really helpful as well for your shutter speed to be nice and fast. And I was shooting actually around f11, f13. I don't tend to go much higher, but obviously if you want to bring down the overall exposure even further, you can take it up to like f16, which will probably give you a little bit more to kind of play with, or just start going into like using obviously filters just to bring that down a few more stops as well, which I don't often do, but I do have some in my bag for kind of those times where I just need to bring it down a few more stops if it's a bit too harsh as well. It's another way to kind of control the overall exposure. But yeah, hopefully that kind of helps a little bit with the kind of overall kind of settings that I'd use, and everything you've just seen in that part of the video was all pretty much around the same kind of settings between f11, f13, always 100 ISO, and kind of around a 40th of a second, something like that. So the next location was highly amusing, because I was only kind of here for about 5 minutes when a guy kind of came over to us and just wondered what I was doing. And you do find this sometimes when you're out shooting, is that people are just really intrigued as to what you're actually shooting or what you're doing. But clearly when you're underneath a bridge, which is quite a distressed area, you could be up to all sorts, I suppose. So I think he was more kind of intrigued as to what I was doing. But as soon as he realised I was pointing my camera at the wall, I think he was a bit more like, oh, actually he's probably just shooting some photography, thankfully. But yeah, he had a nice little chat with me about a few little bits and pieces. So yeah, this is how it went. Hiya.
Thanks, is it?
No, I'm going for a bit of an urban look really, but it's yeah, don't normally shoot this kind of stuff, but I just thought I'd come out and just do a bit more, you know, urban style stuff. But it's always under a bridge, isn't it? You find it.
Yeah.
I've just been across the other one actually as well, and that's just exactly the same. So
There's a couple along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal.
Oh yeah.
Where they've done poetry.
Oh right, no way.
And I think the first one's at Robley, just outside Leeds, because I
Wow.
walked the whole length.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's a bit more slapped on this, isn't it? But
At least they're not all pictures of dicks. That's
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I hope you're shooting that anyway. See you later. Yeah, so highly amusing the way that he ended that conversation, but yeah, I appreciated it nonetheless. It was quite amusing. So yeah, I actually ended up kind of shooting a couple of frames here, but I think the light, as you can probably tell, was a little bit more flat. Yeah, and just to take you through some of the settings that I was using for these particular frames. Now, they are not the best frames, I'll be honest, because the light was kind of coming from behind over the bridge, so I didn't really have any side kind of light coming in, and I felt it was quite dark at the time when I was shooting. There was the second image where I got a little bit more light actually into the kind of the bridge underneath here, but really it was yeah, quite flat really, a bit too flat versus the first lot of shots where you can play around with the light and your settings a lot more. But yeah, for these images I was shooting at 500 ISO, which obviously is a lot higher than what I was shooting kind of a few hours before that. But yeah, f9, so I've gone a little bit kind of you know, lower on the f-stop, and I'm still shooting about a 30th of a second, so still trying to get that quite fast shutter speed in there, just so that I can essentially kind of still shoot freehand without everything being out of focus really. So that's really the key thing that I've always learned, is you can always kind of put more ISO into your camera to get the light into it to give you that fast shutter speed, because if you kind of come back with images that are clearly blurred and out of focus, you can't use them anyway. So this is a way to just try and keep on having that fast shutter speed, and you can still shoot freehand without having to worry so much about having, you know, the issues of your images being out of focus really. The only caveat to that really is that you've got limitations where you start getting a lot more grain. So the higher you go with your ISO, the more grain you'll have on your images. So anything past like 1600 ISO, still with the same f9 with like 30th, 40th of a second, it's still going to give you, you know, enough of a chance to kind of shoot images without having to worry about needing to go to a tripod or using flash. So I think that's just probably the key thing to say really, is that there's limitations with using ISO, but really if you're in situations where you need more light into the camera, don't be in fear of using it. You'll probably find as well that there's a lot of times when wedding photographers might use an auto ISO setting, and to be fair, I could talk to you for a long time about ISO settings and the difference. So I won't do on this video, maybe I'll do another video for this particular topic, but I have shot weddings before with auto ISO just so I can capture the right images. You can still capture good images and not miss moments just by going to auto, but I think it's just something that I prefer not to go to auto. I prefer to be able to control the ISO settings. And yeah, these images, absolutely, they are not the best, I'll be honest, but it just does give you the examples and it shows you the difference between using different settings. So hopefully that's kind of given you a bit of insight as to kind of ISO settings a little bit more. So yeah, not the best images, but good examples to kind of take some learnings from. Difference from taking these ones versus the ones that I was taking before. As you can see, the lights returned, a bit of sunlight, so actually it looks quite good. Yeah, I just spotted some kind of old crates actually through here. It does feel a little bit more trashy really around here, which is kind of what I'm looking for really, which is quite good. But I've just spotted some more actually, quite cool in there. Try and grab a couple of shots. Yeah, keep on moving. Spotted quite a cool little scene here, kind of the way that things flow really. There's just something quite cool about the lollipop sticks, keep them flashing. Yeah, it's come out quite well. Yeah, so as you can probably tell there, I was starting to lose the light, and really I was kind of done for the day at this point. But I am going to put a second video together of a set of kind of urban locations, because I did actually really enjoy this. I thought it was actually a really good thing to go and do, and you just look at things differently when you've got that kind of theme in your mind of what you're trying to capture. So I have actually recorded a second video already, which I'll be putting together probably in the next week or so. And yeah, I was actually really kind of quite glad that I chose the locations that I went to for this second video, because it does highlight even more kind of things that I think were quite interested in part of this whole themed kind of couple of videos that I've now put together. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed part one. I will post part two in the next kind of couple of weeks as well, and hopefully you'll come back and watch that one. I do really generally appreciate everyone who's watching these videos to this point, and better still, think about subscribing as well for the next one. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video pretty soon, and take care until then. Cheers, see you later.